Hey everyone, this is SpyFan 101, and I'm here today to review the next episode of Big Hero 6. Now, before I get into it, I just want to say that this is definitely, like, while I was watching it, you could tell that this is, in fact, a filler episode, but I still think that it's good. It is slower than the other episodes, but at the same time, I think it has a deeper meaning to it. So let's get into it before I get into all that. So the episode immediately starts with them catching a crook, and then they're about to go hang out, and Go says she has plans. So she goes off to wherever she goes. I'm guessing back to her apartment. And then Hero's like, I wonder what she does. I wonder what she does on her alone time. And then was like, Fred was like, nobody knows. Nobody's allowed to know. Nobody's even allowed to ask. Because he asked and it didn't go very well for him. So, the next day goes, Gogo's not there. So, Hero is again intrigued because he wants to know where she goes. So, he has the bright idea of, hey, let's follow her. And then Fred likes this idea. So, both Hero, Fred, and Baymax go off. They go on this adventure to basically eavesdrop on Gogo to see where she goes. So, she goes to this forest. I forget the name of it, but it starts with an M. It's just very hard to pronounce. But we learn that she actually goes out bird watching on her alone time, which I think is very interesting, because it really shows that calming personal side of her. So then we have them eavesdropping, and we find out that Hero has never even been outside of the city, so he's very uncomfortable being inside this forest. So they're going around, they get lost, they end up falling into this river where Baymax helps them, and all of a sudden Baymax starts to malfunction. And like, wow, this is weird. So, as an audience, we go, wow, this is weird. So, they get out of there. Baymax starts to malfunction even more. He was like, what's going on? So, they go, they go off trying to find out where civilization is so they can go back home, because they realize that they're lost. So they try to call for Gogo. And this bear comes out of the woods. This bear comes out of a bush, and he's about to attack him, but all of a sudden this guy comes out of the bushes. This guy also comes out of the bushes and lures him off. At first, I was thrown off because I was like, who is that? And then as I started watching him, I was like, who is this, Tarzan? What's this, Brother Bear meets Tarzan or something? But, yeah, so they meet this guy. He saves him from the bear. This guy takes him in, and he's telling his backstory and everything. And we realize that this guy used to be, like, an investor or something. And he was going off to the woods to basically tear all of it down and build a new city. And so once he was driving his car, like, his brakes basically malfunctioned, and he's about to go off the cliff and die until this meteorite crashes and basically makes the technology in the car go all haywire, and it stops the car. And so he realized from that moment on that his nature called to him and said that he needs to be more connected with the earth. And so that's what he's been doing. And we cut to Baymax. He's doing random stuff and malfunctioning and everything all throughout the woods. And Hero's like desperately trying to find Baymax. Now he's like, look, like, not all technology is bad. Like, my friend Baymax, he needs, like, we need to find him. So they set off on this adventure to find Baymax once again. They find him. Then the guy realizes, hey, your friend's a robot? Oh no, I'm not with that. I'm gonna kill this robot. So he takes Baymax hostage. He gets Hero and Fred caught in this net. And then we cut back to Gogo as she's come back to San Francisco. And Honey Lemon and Wasabi are in the lab. And they're basically like, hey, Hero and Fred followed you. And now they haven't come back yet. So now they have to go back into the woods and find him. And find them, should I say. And once they find him, they're like, Gogo's like, hey, first of all, you invade my private space, but we'll talk about that later. You gotta improvise. You gotta save Baymax. So Hero is forced to improvise, and this is why I think this episode is still good, even though it has filler written all over it. And that's the fact that, you know, the team is forced to use what they have to do this task, even though, you know, they use technology all the time when they're fighting bad guys and stuff. And that's something I can compare to another thing of Marvel relation, which is Iron Man 3. In which case Tony didn't have his suit. His suit wasn't like charged, so it wouldn't work. So he was forced to improvise and use his head instead of his gadgets, which I really like. Which I really like in that movie, and I really like in this episode. So I think that's why it stands out, even though it has filler written all over it. So, they're building like these makeshift They're building like these makeshift suits. I almost said shoots. What? But they built these makeshift suits. And they're building all these traps and stuff to basically lure him in. Because, you know, he's connected to nature and all that, so they're thinking that they're destroying nature. So he goes down there because he sees a giant puff of smoke coming up. And he's like, and he basically points out all the traps because he's like been there, done that. So they're trying to convince him to give Baymax back and that technology is good. And he's not listening. He's not having any of this. He's trying to get him. So they're trying to get him to fall for these traps, but it's not working because he's been there, done that. So, you know, all the other members come out. Wasabi is shooting like pine cones at him. It's not working. Honey Lemon's throwing tar, or I think, is it tar or is it, I forget the name of it, but it's like tree wax. So she throws that at him. That doesn't work, although it does get caught in his beard. So we're going after him, and Gogo's the one to trap him by getting him in the feet with this rope thing, and he falls into one of the holes. And basically they save the day, although that guy was injured. So they get Baymax away from the meteor. He basically helps him out with his arm injury, and the episode ends with Heathcliff, Fred's butler, just relaxing in the hot tub, which is a running gag throughout the episode. I know that seemed kind of scattered, but to me, like this, like I said 2 times already, this had filler written all over it, like in fine print. it was still a good episode, but I feel like it didn't really progress the story or anything like that. It was just straight up filler. Although what I did like I said, is that comparison to Iron Man 3, where they had to use their heads instead of their gadgets, which I thought was pretty cool. Um, I really liked the fact that we're learning more about the characters, especially Go-Go, because in my Big Hero 6's back video, I did state that I wanted to see more character development with these characters, especially Go-Go, seeing as though she's my favorite member of the team. And I'm glad that we're seeing more of that now. I mean, that has happened before, but we're seeing that even more now. Um, the jokes were pretty good. Um, yeah, I don't really have that much to say about this episode. So, out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Mainly because it was just strictly filler. So, yeah.